Hello again, welcome back. I am going to show you the difference between some plants that were winter sown outside and the ones that I have been growing inside. Broccoli, cabbage, and leeks and onions. So let's take a look and see the difference so far. These are cabbage and broccoli, and they were both started on January the 16th. Today is February 11th. So these plants are doing well. I need to thin them out. They're ready to thin out. They have their first true leaves. That's a true leaf there. These are the starter leaves. In fact, this plant has now 2 true leaves. So I'm going to go ahead and thin the rest of these out. I sewed many plants in and will cut them off just to move it down to 2 per. So these are doing very well, and these cabbage plants are at about the same stage with the first two true leaves here, and they're growing very rapidly. So these were planted on January the 16th, and they were germinated indoors and kept under grow lights. Now these little guys, aren't they cute? This is kale, so this is another member of the Brassica family, and this was planted on February 1st, so 11 days ago. So this is after 11 days of growth. This is dazzling blue kale, it's called. And you can see how much they grow and how quickly they do grow. They start off so small. You can see the tiniest one right there. And then they do grow. They start like this. So this is, these were grown inside under grow lights, and I have been actually starting to put them outside during the day when it's, the temperatures are reasonable. And they have seemed to enjoy that as well. Now here we're going to have to take a little peek through the peephole of these broccoli. These are Ducheco broccoli planted on the same exact day, and you can see that inside this milk jug they are growing. So they sprouted, and they did grow slowly when they started to sprout, but they're here, and I think they look pretty good. Let's look at the cabbage. Now here we're going to have to take a little peek through the peephole of these broccoli. These are Ducheco broccoli planted on the same exact day, and you can see that inside this milk jug they are growing. So they sprouted, and they did grow slowly when they started to sprout, but they're here, and I think they look pretty good. Let's look at the cabbage. All right, here is well, it's actually Charleston Wakefield cabbage, not Jersey Wakefield. But you can see inside this bottle how they are coming along. Let's go and take a look through the top. Yeah, so the sprouts are growing. They look green and healthy, and let's just see how quickly they grow. So how are those onions doing that I planted on January the 14th? They are doing great. These are 2 varieties, the Granex and the Australian Brown, sown pretty tightly, and they are doing great. They have their first true leaves. Some of them have 2 true leaves popping up. You can see the first is the seed head. You can see the little seed heads on top, and then they eventually sprout additional leaves. And so these are growing. They smell like onions, and they're growing well. So I'll grow them on until about mid-March and then plant them out. So these were planted on, well, they're about a little less than a month old. The leeks were planted 2 days later on January the 16th, and these are the leeks, and they too are up and doing very well. And I'm going to look on January 15th. So these also are about a month old, a little less than a month old, from seed planting to now, coming along well. All right, so these are the leeks that were sown the same day, and you can see that there are some sprouting here. And the onions, we have similar things. So they are much further behind, but they have now sprouted, and I imagine they will start their merry way into the world. So we'll compare if there's any difference in terms of how these grow when it's time to transplant them and the rate of growth. I think it's going to be super interesting to compare the growth rates and the ultimate final result of these 2 different methods. So I'll make sure that I track them I'm not the best at doing things like that, but I'll try to track them as I transplant them outdoors, and we can take a look and see, does it make a difference? Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're well. Take care. Bye.